All right, the next skill that we're going to work on is sewing a button on. So I've got a couple of buttons here that I'm going to consider. This one has 4 holes, so it's going to require me to do a little more sewing. This one only has 2. It's pretty easy. You go up through one and down through the other. So I'm going to get rid of that guy, and I'm going to stick with the button with 4 today. So I'm going to put it right in the middle of my square. I've already set up my thread. There's a knot on the end, and I'm going to start on the back, as I always do, because I want all my loose ends and all my knots to be on the back. Now, sometimes you kind of got to poke around a little bit to find the right spot. That's totally fine. You'll get there. When I pull up through, I'm not going to pull all the way. I'm going to leave that tail, and I'm going to go down through the button, making an X, which I'm pretty sure you just did a whole bunch of times, so you should be pros. Now, this is one of those places where that trick comes in really handy, where you slip through between the strands of the knot, and you can then be sure your button's not going to move, right? So now I got to poke around and try to get one of the holes that I didn't hit before. So now all I'm doing is making a bunch of little X's to get my button sewed on. So whichever one I just went up through, I want to pick a different one the next time and go diagonally across to make the X. How many times do you need to do this? Oh, probably, let's say 8 for each way. If it's a button that gets tugged on a lot, you want a few extra probably. If it's one that doesn't get used a lot, you might get away with less. I'm going to do 8. So this is 6 right now. And I need 2 more. So here's the second last one. You can see my thread is getting short really fast. And whoops, wrong one. Nope, wrong one again. There we go. And then I'm going to flip it over and tie it off the same way we always do. I'm going to go under a stitch and through the loop. And one more time, under a stitch. Sometimes this gets a little bit hard if the button's curved on the back. You'll make it work, I'm sure. Under a stitch and through the loop. And then I can snip that off. And I like to always snip off my loose ends and make it look tidy on the back. That's just me. No one's going to see it most of the time. And there we go. My button is on good and secure.